Hi, Long Range Hunting, and welcome back. Today we have our Long Range Hunting Adventures episode 2, and for the 2022 season, we're in western Wyoming chasing elk. Now, Wyoming is a long ways from Florida, but we took the drive. We ended up going 4,200 miles, over 80 hours of driving, and got to see a lot of people, see old friends, make new friends. It was a phenomenal trip. I got to take Junior with me. My wife was thrilled about that. But I got to take my boy. He's never been on an elk hunt before. I grew up in the Northwest. He didn't. And so it was a great opportunity for him to go and experience the elk woods. And had a lot of good experiences, some pretty cool encounters, a lot of great things that happened on this trip. It was a veterans hunt. I want to thank Jeff and his wife for taking care of all this and getting this set up and allowing me to do this. Also to our friend Jack, who is a great guy for guiding us and helping out and just everything. It was a phenomenal trip. But let's dive into it.
Oh, you're in.
Right there.
Now, Junior, what was your favorite part of the hunt?
Glassing the elk, finding the elk.
That is true. He did a lot of glassing. This kid's a beast. I'm going to have to get him some binos. He glassed all day. I mean, we were out there. We ended up shooting the elk on the 4th day of our hunt. Second day before it was the last day. It was second to last day. And this kid was on glass. I mean, we were out there from can't see to can't see. I mean, we were out there before it was light to, we were getting back in the dark, and that kid was on glass. Spotted a lot of animals. You got to see quite a few animals you've never seen before.
Yeah, red fox,
red fox.
Red fox. We saw some jackrabbit.
Yeah, jackrabbits.
Jackrabbits. We saw some moose.
Quite a few moose.
Yeah, 8 moose.
Pretty cool though to see a moose. It's a bull. Junior's first moose. Western Wyoming elk hunt.
At least 500 elk. At
Yeah,
least.
total.
Total, yeah.
Some might have been the same ones, but we saw a lot of elk.
I really think I got them riled up. They're not answering. Ever since I had people who started doing this. Cheese moon. Alright, you guys about ready? You wanna watch? They get what they can from what they can. That's
Oh yeah, that's a bull right
Oh, yeah, I see him. Yeah, it looks like a bull. He's kind of facing towards us. That's a bull. There's a doe or a cow he's pushing. Yeah, there he is. Oh, yeah, you see him right I can see his head right now. Oh, he's got a dip. Yeah, coming out the left side. That's him. I think that's the big boy. I think I saw. Yeah, right there. He's running. I think that's him. Oh, there's another bull. Might be fighting.
Oh, fight.
Yeah, we saw a hawk, a mountain grouse. We saw a mountain lion.
That was a cool encounter.
Yeah.
Now, normally you don't see him. This one was about 120 yards from us and just sitting there looking. He stood for about 15 minutes and let us check him out. Pretty cool encounter. You got to see quite a few things. Tons of antelope. Oh my God. Wyoming's got a lot of antelope.
You spot them like a bright light. Like
I'm pretty good at spotting antelope. I don't know why. They just stick out to me. But we had a lot of cool experiences. We got to see a lot of cool stuff. The main problem with the elk, we saw some absolute beasts, some really good bulls. Problem was where we were hunting, it was right next to a park, and that park you can't hunt on and you can't recover. So if you shoot it on the hunting side, the BLM side, and it gets over, you're kind of screwed. So basically, normally what you're going to do is that's where they winter, so you're going to try to ambush elk going down. Now, with it being so hot, abnormally hot, that wasn't happening. So we tried doing that. We went to different spots. Ultimately ended up back at that spot and basically trying to get a chance at one of the elk coming off of that property and in order to hunt them. But we had some strange things happen. I had a tree fall in my truck. We originally hunted this spot where I got it. Ended up saying it's not cold enough. So we ended up going higher up to about 12,500 to 12,700 for elevation above sea level. And we were right at the top. We were having 50, 60 mile an hour winds and it ended up breaking an aspen right at the roots, broke it, ended up falling in the back of my truck. Luckily, nobody was hurt. We were actually getting packed to leave that spot. And so truck was still functional. Just, I got a repair bill now for that, but nobody was hurt. We ended up continuing hunting. We went to another area. We had drove around and glassed about 40 miles so far in the UTV. We ended up glassing a crazy amount of real estate over 3 different ranges, just trying to find something to stock in on. We did see some smaller bulls, nothing that we wanted to get on, and it was just way too far. Ultimately, we ended up going back to the original spot and spending the rest of our time there hunting and hunting hard. It was pretty cool. I mean, Junior had a lot of fun. He was asking to move up there. He got a hike up to the top of a really tall one and then tried to spook stuff out. I mean, we pulled out every trick in the book to get these elk coming. Some of them were bugling, so I did some bugling back at them. Never could get them to come off the park, but we did get them stirred up. And it was just, we hunted hard. It was dry. It was windy. It was quite a hunt. I mean, we pushed hard every single day. Junior was an absolute champ, both on the drive and pushing as far as hunting. He was up before me. He was ready to go, and he really seemed to enjoy elk hunting. Especially eating it, right?
Yeah, it's got some good taste.
Oh, yeah. Now, we are on the second to last day. We haven't seen anything except for on that property. I mean, we've seen tons of mule deer. We've been blasting. glassing these bulls. And I mean, we had shooter bulls literally 30, 40 feet from the line, just on the park side. And so if that wasn't a park, we could have killed them, but we're not going to do that. We're not going to poach or do anything illegal. And so we were sitting there, we're waiting. We've been there all day, and it's about an hour before final darkness to where we can't hunt anymore. And I'm glassing one piece, and all of a sudden I hear Junior and Jack go, "Elk, elk!" And so I look over to them, and they're like, "It's right there, it's right there. Can't you see the sun?" And I'm just looking for it shining off. And when they said it's just right there, they were kind of generally pointing at one area. So I started glassing there, and they're like, "No, no, 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 don't you see it? Don't you see it?" I'm like, "No." Finally, they talked it out to me. It's about 1,200 yards away, and it's just off the property, so we can actually hunt it. So we see this elk. It's about 1,200 yards away, and all of a sudden it starts coming towards us. And so they're ranging, they're glassing for me. I'm getting set up. I'm set up on the rifle. I'm using my 6 Creedmoor. I'm running 110 8-tip out of it, and one of my custom guns. So I'm getting on it, and this thing is flying towards us. So it keeps closing the distance. He keeps giving me distances. I'm trying to correct for it, and I'm changing, and this thing's just flying in. He's getting closer and closer. I'm tracking this thing. Finally, it stops at 494 yards, and it's at this little wallow. Now, it's really dry. Even this wallow only had just little puddles of water, and that was really it. The rest of the stuff was dried up. So I thought maybe they would come over, and that's one of the reasons we were watching this spot. So it stops, it's facing away from me. I'm waiting for an opportunity. It finally turns around. I get a quartering shot on it, and so I go for a double lung shot, end up smacking exactly where I wanted to, and it ends up running off about 30 feet or so and stopping. Now, in doing so, because of how quick we had to change, it wasn't the most ideal setup, and I ended up having to move because when I turned my rifle to where he was at, there was a sagebrush in the way, so we had to do some nice little ninja moves to get over and get back on. Once I got back on, he's standing there. He's dead on his feet. Absolutely, a devastating shot. We can see the blood. And so the concern was, though, normally you do a lung shot, you're going to let it lay down. It'll go a little bit, its lungs will collapse, and it bleed out, and it'll fall down. It'll either lay down and go and die or just fall over. Now, that's a normal thing. The problem was he was right by that line getting onto the park. He was very close. He could cover that in a matter of seconds. And so we didn't want to risk that elk getting over there. And so when he gave me a second shot opportunity, instead of waiting for him to expire, which he definitely would, especially based on the trauma, I put another round in him, dialed, put a high shoulder shot on him, right into the brachial plexus. He dropped like a rock, and that's the end of that story. Junior not only was the one to spot it with Jack, but he got to watch it through his binoculars as I shot it. Yeah, you can see the blood in the water. That's where we shot him. And we have a whole blood trail here. Hey, who's that? It's like Junior. Okay, Junior, let's follow the blood trail. Got a little bit here. It's lung blood. That lung shot. See it all over here. Oh, look at this one right here. Yeah, this he was bleeding. Got some big chunks right here. Got a nice, easy to follow blood trail. Not sure how he made it that far, to be honest, with the damage we're seeing. Junior's having fun following the blood. is all from that first shot. See, that's the wound from it. Yeah, the somewhere over here. We're gonna have to cut this bad boy open and see, but we got a lot of meat, don't we?
Oh yeah.
Now the fun part, we gotta try to get this thing taken care of. Now the real work begins, right?
Right, that's what they always say.
I think Junior's gonna have a real problem packing this out by himself. All right, Junior, what did we do?
We got an elk.
We got an elk. New 6 Creedmoor. What was the distance? 492.
494.
Not the biggest one, but this is the first one we've had a shot at in what, 4 days? 4 days to take to get a shot. Had Junior with me. Drove 2,000 miles from Florida to Wyoming. So pretty nice. 110 A-tip. Thanks for all the help. We've been going to town for the last few days, so we're gonna get some pictures and we'll get this sucker out of here and get everything done. So, you happy, Junior?
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool.
Yep.
Shot it. What did you think of all that?
I liked it.
You liked it?
Yep.
You ready to go elk hunting again?
Yep. This time I'm hunting.
Oh yeah, we got to get this boy an elk. So, 6 Creedmoor, that A-tip just ate it up. I'm going to show you the damage real quick. I mean, you can see, and we had not a lot of time for pictures. I mean, by the time we got down there, we snapped a couple pictures. We did the video real quick, and we didn't have a whole lot of time to document everything like I normally would. If it had been earlier, we would have taken more time. But, I mean, you can see the exit hole. That's a nice exit hole. I mean, it's about the size of a nickel, and that for a 6mm bullet's a lot of expansion. So it did really well. It was just over 2,400 feet per second impact velocity. I believe it was 2455. I'll put it on the screen. So we had a lot of trauma. We were getting mush out of the chest cavity when we were getting it out, full of blood. I mean, you can see it did a really good job. Nice exit hole. The blood trail, I mean, it covered that 30 feet or so in a matter of seconds. And there was a significant amount of blood there from that. Now, I was planning on going for a big one. I've hunted elk in Idaho, but ultimately, I'm not a quote-unquote trophy hunter. I mean, I probably wouldn't have shot a spike. It was an any elk tag general, but I mean, nothing was coming off. I'm glad I took that one. We got a lot of really good meat on it. I've been butchering now. This kid's eating it as fast as I can butcher it. But, I'm really happy with it. I mean, would I have liked a big shoulder mount bull? Absolutely. But realistically, the probability of us getting it in the current conditions and what we were dealing with and the short amount of time to hunt, it just wasn't in the cards. And Jack went and hunted that next day and nothing. So we never even saw anything else. That was the only bull I got a chance to even put the scope onto where I could pull the trigger. Both shots were devastating. The first one was it was dead on its feet. It was just a matter of not wanting to risk it getting onto that other property because we cannot recover on there and then the whole elk would be wasted. So it was a good hunt though. I'm really glad Junior got to go with me. I mean, any hunting trip with my son is a phenomenal experience. I mean, it was just great to have him along. Driving drives me a little nuts, especially for, 4,200 miles, but, I'm glad he came. It was a great time. Can't thank Jack enough for all his help and everything he did. I can't thank Jeff and his wife enough for their hospitality, helping me do this hunt. I mean, everybody was involved. He does a lot with veterans and different hunts and stuff that you can do, and this is one I finally decided to accept after multiple offers. So ultimately, it was a great experience. It's something that Junior and I are going to remember forever. We've got great video of it. I've already mounted the bull. I'm getting the hide tanned, and we enjoyed some steaks tonight, so we're going to continue doing that. Hopefully next year we can get this little guy, well, not so little anymore, but hopefully we can get him his first elk next year, probably with Creedmoor again or another gun. We'll just have to see how it goes. So now I hope you all enjoyed this video. One point of this is just to show you really don't need some monster cartridge. Match bullets work really well. You can see the damage, you can see the exit hole, you can see everything it did. Great amount of trauma. Not the biggest bull in the world, but I mean, it got the job done. I got to spend a wonderful time with my son, meet some new people, see a lot of, old friends, family, etc. And ultimately, it was a great trip. So for everybody out there, get in the outdoors, especially take your kids. They might get bored, but they're going to look back at those memories just like we did and smile and remember them. So take advantage while your kids are kids, or even as adults, and spend some time with them. So everybody out there, be safe.
And happy hunting.
Come on, Davey.
These are a lot more serious than this.
Hey, you lift your arm up. You lift your arm up like this.
I did lift my
I
arm.
want to fight too.
Oh.
Oh my god, I'm like sweating.
But you actually did get him down. You did lift your arm, but
I need that team to like. I did lift my arm. That was cheating.
that was a lot better than before.
That was a lot better.
It's just like weightlifting. It's technique.
Right.
It makes a big difference.
I want
Oh my
to try
gosh,
to
my arm is so
fit.
tired and pumped now.
That's the start.
You're so strong.
I had a bad start at
Okay, let's
first.
start. Okay, let's do it.
And then as we count. Even though I won.
Oh my gosh,
Three,
right.
2, 1.
You are so fucking
I'm
strong.
going to be strong.
Oh, shoot.
You're gonna be strong too, baby.
You try to get me.
My arm is dead.
Try.
Just float it on the right hand edge of that little one. Slow and easy.
Hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notification bell so you won't miss out on any future video. And happy hunting!